Good day, YouTube. It is the 9th of June, 2019. And yesterday, you might have caught the first video on this Honda EXW171S Welder Generator that I picked up at a farm sale for $100. And was thinking it'd be quite a project. You know, we could replace a few parts and get it running. Turns out we just had to put a fuel filter in it. A little bit of gas line, some gas, and it fired right up. Second crank. Unbelievable. Who'da thunk? Anyway, it is full of critter droppings, so I do got to get it apart to clean it up, clean it out. And while we got it open, you know, look at service and tune up and that kind of thing. So, without further ado, I think we'll start taking it apart. I think it's going to be as simple as there's 4 bolts along the bottom, excuse me, on both sides. I don't know if I have to take these ends off or not. Sorry about the light, but the sun's coming in and making it really bright in here. But it's nice. There's somebody actually hand wrote a note. Don't take those 4 bolts off. So I'm thinking if we took the 4 off of the bottom on both sides, hopefully the ends can stay on and then the whole cowl comes off. That's what I'm hoping. I can't find any information on the internet. Nobody's worked on one of these on YouTube yet until today. So let me get started taking this thing apart and I'll show you what kind of mess lies inside. Be back in a flash. Well, she's made a home for some things for a while. I just got the ends off and I got the sides unbolted. About ready to lift it off. Giving you a little peek what's going on. I do see there's more of the fuel system here, sediment bowl and stuff that is, and a shutoff valve is not currently connected, so got a little work to do there. Get that battery out of there. But let's see if we can get this cover off and see if anything needs eviction notices here. And we'll get it vacuumed out and cleaned out and washed out and whatever. I assume this thing's going to lift off. About to find out. Well, all the stuff is rolling around in there. Maybe I shouldn't have run it until I opened it up. Yeah, I'm sure somebody will comment to that effect. I don't know. Whatever got into places, we'll blow it out with an air hose. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing off here without too much trouble. Oh no. That's got way too much stuff attached to it to take it off like that. All this control panel's in there. I really didn't look too carefully till I got the end panels off here. No, that's not something that you do. I think I'm going to have to put the bolts back in and clean this thing out through the ends, not through the sides. I think that's a better plan. Alright, I'm going to do that. Because this, that's a major deconstruction of this to get that shroud off of there. Looked like it'd probably been off there a time or two, but I was wrong. Well, live and learn. Alright, I'm going to put the sides back on and we'll go after cleaning this thing up through the ends. Alright, spent some time blowing this out with air hose. Evicted a couple of deceased residents. Time to, I save you the drama. It's time to wash it out. So I've got Castrol Super Clean and a garden sprayer. I know I get a lot of comments about how this is not such a good idea, but you know what? It's not sensitive electronics in here. What gets wet will dry. Got to get rid of the smell and the grease. So buy your Castrol or whatever you're buying for degreaser by the gallon, stick it in a cheap garden sprayer. Saves your finger from pumping them spray bottles. I have to replace this one. It's getting where it doesn't work too good. Go let it sit and do its thing a little bit. Probably reapply it, just hose it off. Not going to go crazy. Get the grease off, get the smell out of it. It's not too bad. I don't think the residents of this generator enclosure were recent. Alright. I'll turn you back on. We get the thing hosed down. Some say you can't polish a turd. I don't know if we're getting polished or not, but we're getting clean. It doesn't smell anymore. So yeah, we got 99% of the junk out of it. I fit a battery that I had laying around in there and fired it back up again after I washed it out so that the water didn't kill anything. It has this fuel on-off valve here. Come on, find it. See that right on top of the glass bowl. So this device here. So listen to it, because I believe it's working. I'm not sure why somebody disconnected it or whatever, but I think I'll pull that fuel bowl off of there, get it cleaned up, reroute the fuel lines, and get that thing hooked back up again. The whole idea is when you shut this off, the gas quits flowing. And it's a safety feature, and I don't think it should be disconnected. So, that'll be next. Let's see if it'll start. Battery's hooked up. A bit ago I was running it and it was surging. I went, oh great, idle circuit's plugged, right? Wait a minute, somebody's been jerking screws on the carburetor and things like that, and let's just make sure that it didn't all jacked up. Well, it was. So after I adjusted the idle screws on the carburetor, it quit surging. It was just too lean. So now she's idles like a kitty, and it starts good. And I gotta tell you, I put seafoam in it last night, let it soak. A huge difference in what it runs like this morning, and starts like this morning, from what it did yesterday. Just fires right up. Getting happier and happier with this thing by the hour. All right, let me shut her down, and I'll reroute the fuel lines and clean out that sediment bowl, and see if any of that leaks or works or whatever. Now that it's running, you know, we know the carburetor's full, and if it starts and runs for 5 minutes after I hook that up, then we'll know that it's in good shape. Oh, I also backed the screw off on the bottom of the carburetor that allows the fuel to drain out. Just drained out the fuel bowl one time. I mean, I'm not going in there to take the carburetor apart if it runs as good, so just thought I'd do a flush on the carburetor bowl, so I did that. All right, I'll check back with you. Well, I first thought I had this fuel system figured out, but so this is the hose coming from the tank, and for whatever reason I hooked the carburetor up to here. Then when I turned it on, gas oozed out of back here. You can see that. So the fuel follows this hose up into here. Then there's a hose back there. Hope you can see that. And that's what goes to the carburetor. So I moved it. But what happens to this? Is this just like a vent or something? I don't know. So I'm just going to turn it on. That should make fuel flow. And I do have fuel in the sediment bowl. Let me take these tools off the top here. Let's just start it and see what happens. fuel comes out of that, what I'm calling a vent, then I know I got to do something with it. But maybe it's just a vent, and I should just run a gas line outside of the case here. As long as it runs long enough to burn the fuel that's in the carburetor and have it replenished, then I'll know that we're in good shape. And then that fuel shutoff valve is actually working properly. Not sure why they unhooked it. Well, who knows? Maybe it was up there at one point. So the air filter's in good shape. The oil's actually very clean. I don't see any reason to change it. I found a little bit more gas I put in it because I didn't have much yesterday. It was running a little weird, but I think the choke might have just kicked off again. Makes a big difference shutting the doors. Probably will make a difference putting the ends back on. Well, I think the fuel system is okay. I think we're in good shape. It's not leaking. Well, I'm going to think about this for a minute. And maybe I'm done with it for now. Button this thing back up. Let me put the covers and the handles and stuff back on it, and I'll let it run for a little while, and I'll bring you back and tell you what I've decided. Well, gang, it looks like we've come to the end of this Honda welder project. Got the fuel system sorted. Got it kind of cleaned up. We evicted a couple of deceased residents, which I saved you the drama. And it starts and runs really, really good. This I have spent no money on it. Paid $100 for it yesterday, and now I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I really like to keep it. I've had my eyes on a generator welder for a long time. I'll have to acquire some welding leads that are appropriate for 170 amp machine and kind of go from there. Maybe a little bit of cleaning and detailing. I did find a website where I can get parts for this thing, including the decals, so maybe straighten it up and paint it one day, but nothing like that soon. I mean, that'd be like if I have it into retirement or something, maybe we'll fix it up beyond that. I looked online. It looks like if you wanted to buy something like this new, I think prices start in the $3,000 range and then go to the moon. So having $100 invested in a 170 amp arc welder / 4,000 watt generator, probably well spent. I might find a place to store it and keep it. Let's fire it up one last time here. Got all the covers on it. Super quiet. Super quiet. Getting the idle adjusted and stuff this morning really allowed this thing to idle down. We got the throttle in auto mode. So really the RPM is very, very low. And again, all the covers on, it's all tightened up again. It's just super quiet. Pretty happy with this little project. Gang, thanks for watching my videos. Take some time to check out a couple more, and that'd be awesome. Hit the thumbs up button if you don't mind, and we'll catch you on the next video.